The goal of this section of the training is to teach you how to command Microsoft Word to automatically generate a table of contents using the styles that we put into the document. And then once we have a table of contents, how to personalize it so that it looks the way you want it to look. To insert a table of contents, we first want to put the cursor wherever we want the table of contents to be. And as I mentioned earlier, this is usually at the very beginning of the document. So a quick, easy way to get to the very beginning of the document is pretend like right now we're on page 3. If you hit the Control button and then simultaneously hit the Home button, your cursor will automatically jump to the very beginning of the document. And this is where we're going to put the table of contents in. You can also put the table of contents anywhere in the document. So for instance, if you had a cover page and you wanted the table of contents to be after the cover page, you could put the cursor after the cover page, and that's where Word would insert it. So we're going to stick with the table of contents at the very beginning of the document. And to insert a table of contents, we're going to want to go up to the ribbon and select the References tab. And under References, we're going to go to the Table of Contents group, and specifically to the icon called Table of Contents. And we'll click on that, and a window opens up with several different options. And we're going to select the first option, which is Automatic Table 1. And if you click on that, we can see that Microsoft Word automatically generates a table of contents. And it has our section names along with what page number they're on. The way it does this is it goes through the documents and it reads the styles that we've put on. So all of our main sections, such as description, taxonomy, and historical cultivation, if we go down here and click on description, which is our section heading, and then go to the Home tab on the ribbon, we can look at our styles box and we can say description has the style of heading 1. Taxonomy also has the style of heading 1. So Microsoft Word has gone through and it's read all of the information that has that heading 1 style, and it's made those the main sections in our table of contents. It's also included our subsections, and these are indented so you can tell they're subsections, and these were all sections that had heading 2 style. And finally our subsections, and those are all sections that had the heading 3 style. Now, this is just the generic table of contents that Microsoft Word gives us. We can also personalize this so it looks the way we want it to work. To do that, let's first get rid of this table of contents, and we'll go over how to do this later in the training. And we're going to put a new table of contents in. And to do that, we're going to again go up to the ribbon and go to the References tab. And then we're going to select the Table of Contents. But this time we're going to go almost all the way to the bottom and select Insert Table of Contents. Now when we click on that with the mouse, instead of a table of contents immediately coming up in our document, instead we get a dialog box that comes up. And this dialog box gives us options that we can use to change how our table of contents looks. This dialog box also has a window called Print Preview. And this Print Preview window previews what our table of contents is actually going to look like in the document. So the default one, like the table of contents we just inserted, has our section names, and then a bunch of dots, and then our page number. So that's what it looks like right now. But we can change that by using these options. So for instance, if we uncheck the box called Show Page Numbers, now our table of contents doesn't show our page numbers. It just has our section names. But we want page numbers, we're going to click that again. We can also decide whether or not we want to right align page numbers. Right now our page numbers are aligned on the right side of the page, but say we don't want that. We can just unclick it, and now our page numbers show up right next to our section headings. Finally, we can adjust the tab leader. And what the tab leader refers to is this line of characters between our section name and our page number. Right now it's a bunch of little dots. And the reason it's called the tab leader is because it leads the reader's eye from one part of the document to the other. In this case, it leads the reader's eye from the section heading to the page number. And right now we're using little dots. We can also use dashes. We can use a solid line, or we can use nothing at all. We're going to stick with the traditional dot leader. In this section of the dialog box called General, we can adjust how many levels show up on our table of contents. And what that means is, are we showing just our main sections, or are we showing our subsections too? So in our case, we had up to 3 levels. We had our main section, which is level 1, our subsections, which are level 2, and our subsections, which are level 3. But maybe you think that's too much information for the table of contents, you just want to show the main sections. You can adjust that by just going to show levels 1. And now our table of contents will be very simple. It'll just have our main sections and their page numbers. You can also go up. We only had up to 3 levels in our table of contents, but you can have up to 9. So you can show more sections if you want to. We're going to stick with showing 3 sections. The next part of the dialog box is called Format. And this changes basically how your table of contents looks. And right now we're using the default format, which is from template. But you can click a classic format, and this is what your table of contents will look like. You can select a distinctive format, and that's what it will look like. And you have several different options here. We're going to stick with the default from template. Finally, we want to unclick this box that says use hyperlinks instead of page numbers. And we click OK. And again, Microsoft Word has read through our document. It's found all of our page numbers, all of our section names, and it's put them into our table of contents just like we want. Now when you do it this way, we don't get a nice title in front of our table of contents, which we want. So to do that, we just put our cursor at the very beginning of our table of contents and hit the Enter button to create a line. Then we go up to the line and we type in whatever we want the title of our table of contents to be. So we'll just call this Banana Contents. And then we're going to go to the Home tab on the ribbon. And we're going to go back to our styles and open up the styles dialog box so we see all of our different styles. And right now it's in TOC 1, which stands for Table of Contents 1. But we're going to select TOC heading, Table of Contents heading. We'll click on that, and now we get a nice looking title for our table of contents. The last thing you can do is to change the font in the table of contents however you want. And to do this, we're just going to use styles again. Just like we use styles to change how our section headings look, we're going to use styles to change how our table of contents headings look. So we just want to click on the text that we want to change, and we'll open up the styles dialog box again. And you can see that right now we're in Table of Contents 1 style. But say you don't like the black text. Say you work for a company whose company's color is orange, and so you want the text to be orange like your company's color. You just select the text that you want to change by using your cursor, and then click on this button to change the text color, and this is in the Home tab of the ribbon. And we're going to select orange. We want it to be orange like our company colors. Now we've changed description to orange, but none of the other section headings have changed. So just like when we were changing our section headings in the document, we just want to right click on description, and we have a dialog box open up, and we're going to go to Styles and then Update TOC1 to match selection. We'll click on that, and it's kind of hard to see because of the gray background, so let's get rid of that. Now all of our main section headings have changed to the color orange. And we can do the same thing by clicking on Early Cultivation and selecting it. We see this is in the TOC 2 style, so instead of orange, let's make this one bright yellow. Click on that. Now we've changed early cultivation to yellow, and we can right click on that and select styles again, and then update TOC2 to match selection. So we'll click on that, and then click anywhere to get rid of that gray background, and we can see we've now changed all of our subsection headings to yellow. And we can do the same thing with our subsections if we want. In the next video, we're going to explain how to command Word to get rid of your table of contents. So say you put all the work into making a table of contents, but then you don't like it and you're going to get rid of it. We're going to explain how to do that in the next section of the training.